If you've never read your Bible, or you don't do it consistently, or you feel like you don't know where to start, or you just don't have the time for it, if that's you, keep watching. Now, if you've never read through the Bible or started, just know that there's no right or wrong way to start. Really, it's just about starting. However, with all the distractions that we seem to have all the time, all around us, I think this is a lot easier said than done. So that's why I've come up with these tips. Now, this is my second year reading through the Bible, and I know I cannot be the only one that struggles to stay consistent in reading my Bible daily. So looking back, I kind of figured out some of the things that work to help me keep reading more consistently, even if I don't do it daily. But before we get into it, I honestly want to know from you guys, what is your biggest obstacle in reading through the entire Bible, or just reading the Bible, period? And have you overcome it? Or how do you overcome it? How do you overcome that challenge? I'd love to hear, so leave a comment below. It just helps to know that we're not alone in the things that we struggle with. And so that's why I really would love it if you could share with myself and others what you struggle with and how you overcame it. So, getting started, first of all, decide your purpose for reading. And so what I mean by that is that, are you just going to be reading to maybe just get through reading the entire Bible? Maybe you want to get to read the entire Bible within a year, like you have a specific timeline that you want to read through the entire books of the Bible, or you just want to dig deeper into daily Bible studying. Whatever your reason for doing it is perfectly fine. My first year of reading through the Bible, I ended up deciding to really dig deep and study as I read, which of course I think did make it more challenging, because I needed to really set apart time to do both, to read the Bible and to study. And so that one is a little bit more commitment. But if you just want to read through the Bible just to get the whole story, I think that that is a perfectly okay goal to have. If anything, I think it gives you the full picture. And then once you go back in and you start digging deep, it's going to help you understand better. I wish I kind of did it that way. I ended up doing it backwards. My second year around, I'm now like just reading through it to get through the whole story. For number two, I would say start small. So for this one, I would say start 15 minutes. I think 15 minutes is a small commitment to get started in reading your Bible, and you can definitely put that into any time slot of your day, whether it's the morning, your lunch break, nighttime, 15 minutes. So you can set a timer. I usually go into my phone and I'll just set a timer for myself. Okay, my thing's not working, but I go in and I'll set 15 minutes on the timer, and usually this really helps to kind of keep me locked into what I'm doing in that moment. And once the timer goes off, I'm free to either continue or I can stop. Something else that you can do to start small is to start with the Gospels, right? Starting with either Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John. Now, I would say start with the Gospel of John, simply because I think most people just recommend to start with John. To be honest with you, I'm not exactly 100% sure. I feel like, personally, I think it's just like it has everything all in one. Like Matthew is more lengthy, Mark is like to the point, right? And I think John is like a good in the middle, in between. But I don't know why we usually recommend John, but that would be what I would recommend for sure, because I do think it's like the best of both worlds. Starting there and then maybe jumping into Matthew or Mark or Luke would be a good way to start your Bible studying or Bible reading process. So start small, achievable goals, and I think it's going to make you want to keep going. The other thing is, so for tip number 3 is keep your Bible in a visible location, or place it where you know you'll have to jump to basically get into it, or like bump into it. So typically my Bible is in this bag, right? This is my oh my gosh, my Bible journaling bag. And so every time I'm studying, I usually will put it in here. And I just grab this bag and I bring it with me. If you want to see what I keep inside my bag, I do have a video on that, but it's usually inside the bag. Now, I've already built an enough consistent routine that it's like easy for me to just grab the bag and keep going. However, for if you're just starting, or if you really want to get into the habit of that being the first thing that you do, then you need to put it somewhere visible. So I have multiple Bibles, so I usually will keep one Bible in my nightstand, and then I have this Bible in my journaling bag, and another Bible that sits out in a visible location in our living area. And so kind of having it there where you can see it, I think will remind you to go into it, get into some reading time. Number 4, I would say get into a reading plan, or use the app called YouVersion. If you don't have it downloaded, I'll put it on the screen so you can see it better. But the YouVersion app, it's this app here that says Holy Bible, but it's called YouVersion. And they have a ton of plans. But if you want to get through reading through the entire Bible, the plan that I recommend the most is the chronological plan. And you will see that. I'll put on the screen on here so you can see how to get the plan and what it looks like. You'll also see that I am 75 days behind on my plan, but it's okay. The point is to get to reading your Bible more, okay? So I should have already been done with this plan, but I didn't. I am, like I said, I'm 75 days behind. So if you look here though, so I have it on my YouVersion app, but I am an analog girly. So it's just a satisfaction in like highlighting and crossing out every time that I've read through a book of the Bible. So I Googled this plan. I Googled chronological reading plan. And you can, if you want, you can just look this one up. It's the Blue Letter Bible Daily Bible Reading Plan Chronological. And it's a 1-year plan. And I put when I started, August of 2024. And then you just kind of go through and you follow each day and you just cross off as you go. And I really like this because it just kind of shows me like how far I've gotten. I don't know if you guys can capture that, but really love just the highlighting. But you can also get that achievement if you do it digitally on the YouVersion app, and you kind of check off each time that you get through the plan. So that's a really neat feature. And honestly, I love using the chronological plan because it goes in the order of when it happened. So like if you know, like in the Bible, right, you obviously, yes, like you start with Genesis and you move on, but in between Genesis, like you have the story of Job, and then you get into the other books, and then you have like once you get into like Ruth and the minor prophets, like all of these things are kind of happening in between other books of the Bible. So it's really neat to have a plan like this one, because it'll take you straight through like when it's happening, right? So like if you look here, you'll see kind of like Psalms and Samuel are kind of intertwined with each other, because it's combining Psalms that, you know, historians have believed were written in connection to those particular moments in the Bible. So I think that's really cool to see the connection between the Psalm and the story in the Bible that it was possibly written in. And same thing with like Isaiah and, you know, Kings, right? Like you see the connection here of these stories and Isaiah, and these chapters in Isaiah were happening around the same time period. So I really like that. Plus it repeats. So a lot of stuff that you're reading in First Chronicles and First Kings and so on, like a lot of it repeats. And so it just creates like this memory for you where you're getting the full story twice with a little bit of different information added to it. So I really like that. And that happens also when you get to the Gospels. The other cool thing about the app is that the app, once you set it up and you start the chronological plan, it automatically asks you if you want to set a reminder. So the app will actually give you a notification on your phone that'll say, like, to basically start doing your daily reading plan. And you can set what time you want the notification to go off in. So I really like that. But that actually kind of segues into like a little bonus tip in between this, and that's like setting reminders for yourself on your phone. I actually have like a family worship and Bible time reminder on my phone that kind of goes along with my reading plan, aside from the one on the YouVersion app. But that is what I would say for that tip. Tip number 5 is a quick and easy one. And this one, I should have put this a little bit higher in the list, honestly, because I think this one's a really easy one. And it's to audio your Bible. We live in the world of, I hate to use the word convenience, but it's true. Like, it is convenient. You can literally read your Bible in your car because you can just play the audio. And so I use the same app. I feel like I'm sponsoring YouVersion, honestly, but I love that app so much. So no, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I really love that app because it has audio. And so you can literally click on the audio option and it'll read the Bible to you. And it is awesome. I'm pretty sure there are other applications that probably do this as well, but that's the one that I use. And I just play the audio and let it, read to me while I'm driving. Usually that's when I use it the most, is when I'm driving. And sometimes what I do is, like, I might even at a stoplight or something click to highlight a verse in my app because I want to go back to it at a certain point. So very easy way to start reading through the Bible. Actually, my mother-in-law, she does this at night. Like, she puts, instead of doom scrolling, instead of I don't know, listening to music, whatever the other routine might be, she puts on her audio Bible, and that's what she listens to. And that's how she gets through the Bible every year. Okay, and last but not least, remember how I said that I was going to save that last tip because it honestly is the one that brings me the most conviction, and that is habit stacking. If you are familiar with all of these, habit books, I only read one. I think it was The Power of Habit. Oh my gosh, it was a while ago, so I can't even remember. But I just remember that term being in that book. I know Atomic Habits also has that, the habit loop. But anyway, pushing all of that aside because I'm not being very helpful with it. But if you do Google like the actual definition of habit stacking, or even like they call it habit bundling, it's basically a technique where you add a habit to an existing or like an established routine that you already have to make it easier to create a new behavior. So basically, it's kind of based on this idea that linking a new habit to an existing like routine will trigger you to just keep doing it regularly, basically. So you'll be more consistent with doing this particular new thing because you're already attaching it to something that you already do all the time. So for me, that is actually drinking when I drink coffee. So my routine is, of course, a girl has to have her coffee every day. And so I made it a thing where I read my Bible when I'm drinking coffee. And so I will actually take out my whole Bible journaling bag and I will bring it with me to the table and I will sit down with my coffee and read my Bible. And it's gotten to the point where now, like, if I make coffee, I have to be reading my Bible. It's so weird. Like, I cannot, if I'm sitting down and I'm drinking my coffee and no one's talking to me or anything like that or distracting me, I will be like, oh no, like this doesn't feel right. I have to read the Bible. So I get my stuff ready with my coffee and that's my Bible reading time. And since I've been doing that, it just links. So I would find that routine that I do every day and I would link it to reading my Bible. And just start doing that, and you will see how it will become connected, and you will always want to do that together. Not just that, honestly, the other thing that works, this is like a little bonus, is Bible journaling. The way that I got into reading my Bible more was doing Bible journaling, and doing it creatively. Like when I first started Bible journaling, it wasn't just like notes like this, right? I actually would draw in my Bible. And so that kind of was like a fun way to get me to get into the Bible. And I looked forward to it because I liked getting creative. So it gave me a reason to get creative, but do it for God. And so that was another way to kind of combine something that I like to do and start a new habit. So that was my last tip. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry if this was a long one. I really wanted to share with you guys some things to get you started on reading your Bible consistently, because I know it is a huge struggle for all of us. Um, if you have any questions on any other tips, please share them in the comments. If you have any other tips that you'd like to add to this that keep you consistent with reading your Bible, please tell me. In fact, if you have one of those right habit bundling techniques that maybe you are already doing to get yourself to read the Bible, please share with me what it is that you do alongside with your Bible reading. Well, until next time, this is how I Bible. Thank you, girls, for watching. Have an awesome week.